Welcome to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle, and this March Mystery Madness video is a review of the book The Blue by Nancy Bilyeau. I think that's how you say her name, I'm not entirely sure. This was published in 2017, and I loved this book. It was so good. But before we get into all of that, I need to give you the answer for yesterday's My March Mystery Madness Mindbender. So, the clue was this alliteratively named couple ran a detective agency and worked for British intelligence. And of course the answer is Tommy and Tuppence. This is The Secret Adversary, which is the first in the Tommy and Tuppence series by, of course, Agatha Christie. If you've never read any Tommy and Tuppence, give them a whirl. It's a lot of fun. So let's get on with the review of The Blue. This is a historical mystery set in 1759. Let me read the back. In 18th century London, porcelain is the most seductive of commodities. Fortunes are made and lost upon it. Kings do battle with knights and knaves for possession of the finest pieces and the secrets of their manufacture. For Geneviève Blanchet, an English-born descendant of Huguenot refugees, porcelain holds far less allure. She wants to be an artist, a painter of international repute, but nobody takes the idea of a female artist seriously in London. If only she could reach Venice. When Geneviève meets the charming Sir Gabriel Courtney, he offers her an opportunity she can't refuse. If she learns the secrets of porcelain manufacture, he will send her to Venice. But in particular, she must learn the secrets of the color blue. The ensuing events take Geneviève deep into England's emerging industrial heartlands, where not only does she learn about porcelain, but also about the art of industrial espionage. She also learns much about love. With the heart and spirit of her Huguenot ancestors, Geneviève faces her challenges head-on, but how much is she willing to suffer in pursuit and protection of the color blue? And it says on the front, how far will they go for the most coveted color in the world? So what I liked about this book was all of the historical detail in it. I did not know anything about porcelain manufacture, and there was so much in there about that, and it was so interesting. There was also a lot in there about early industrial espionage, which was great. There was also a lot about how they got the color, in certain cases of how they had to mine certain minerals from the ground, and how hard that was, how dangerous that was, and then what they had to do to extract the color and make it usable for the purpose that they had in mind for it. So in this case, they were trying to extract blue so that it could be used on porcelain, and so that was different. It required a different process than blue that would be used on for example, for paints on canvas or other types of materials. So that was really fascinating. There was also a lot in here about the Huguenots, which were a group of refugees in London at the time, fleeing from France. They were essentially Protestants at a time when that was not allowed in France. A lot of Huguenots were arrested and jailed and treated very horribly. And so in this story, it's Genevieve's grandfather who fled France to England. And so Geneviève is English. She was born in England to a mother who was born in England, but she has heard the stories of her grandfather. There is also a servant in the household who escaped and made her way over as well. And so she has heard these stories, and so she is absolutely terrified of going to France and what might happen to her if she ever ends up in France as she still calls herself a Huguenot person, even though she is English and she was born in England. So that was very interesting as well. I also really loved that this story was told in the first person present tense. And that's not always done well. I have actually recently read a book that used present tense and kind of threw away the opportunity that provides. But in this book, the author made good use of her choice of using first person present tense. I really felt immersed in the story. The tension was real and I could feel it building all the time. There were great characters in this story. I really liked Genevieve. She felt believable as a character of the time, and yet she wanted so much more out of her life. And I really enjoyed her as a character. A lot of the other characters too were so great. You never knew who you could trust in this book, which I always love. This story had great themes of obsession and loyalty, trust, temptation, identity. This story also had a great structure, which I think is a sign of a great writer. So it starts with a party. Genevieve goes to a party that she is not invited to. She stole the invitation from her grandfather. And the story ends, it climaxes at another party. This time she has been invited, but it's a party she doesn't want to go to. So I think that's a great structure for this story. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. When I read the back of it, I thought this is going to be a story that I really like. And that was totally true, but I actually really loved it. So if you can get your hands on a copy of The Blue, I highly recommend it. It was great historical mystery, great historical fiction. Even if you're interested in spy novels, spy books, there's that element of industrial espionage in here, which was so very interesting. So I can highly recommend The Blue by Nancy Bilyeau, and of course the name is completely covered on the top here by the library sticker, but I'm going to put it in the description below so you can look for this from your library or from Amazon or wherever you purchase books. This is a book that I'm going to be looking for to add to my own collection because I enjoyed it so much. Have you read The Blue? What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to chat with somebody about this book because I loved it so much. I don't want to give away any spoilers, so I'm not going to get into too much more of the story. But if you have read it, let me know in the comments down below. And before I say goodbye, it is time for my March Mystery Madness Mindbender. I still have a hard time saying that. That's great. So anyway, here is the next clue. This series of police procedurals feature a detective who ignores procedure and loves crossword puzzles and opera. So put your answers in the comments down below, and I'll see you tomorrow for another March Mystery Madness video. Have fun reading your mysteries, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!